Hey, so I'm so excited about this. Sorry it took so long. I've had my grandchildren. I literally have not had a quiet moment where I could record this. I'm sitting on the stairs right now, hiding from everybody. They're in bed, but I put on movies and it's still loud. But anyway, I pulled all the cards first, except for the last deck I'm going to pull from, which I'm going to do on camera. And what I did is I connected to your energy after you gave me consent, and I felt drawn to my Derek Condent Energy Intention deck. And the cards that came up were Courage, Harmony, Patience. We'll get back to that later. And then I pulled cards from one of my fairy decks, because I went and asked all my decks. I have a whole basket full. Which ones wanted to work with us today with this? And this is the one that wanted to work with us. And it's my Radley Valentine fairy deck. I've had this one pretty much since I started getting decks. And it's so beautiful. Look at the front. Isn't that gorgeous? I knew you'd probably love that. So the ones that came up, and I took notes, 7 of Spring. Now I want you to notice, sorry, there's a glare. She's beautiful. And I'm going to take a picture of these for you. Notice the red, because red was a very significant color for this reading. And then we had 7 of Spring, 9 of Winter, and the Queen of Spring. So let's talk about the first one. So when 7 of Spring shows up for us, look at her. She's so beautiful. She's wearing red. This card comes up when you need to stand up for yourself. Now is the time for you to be standing up for you to be making decisions for you. And when this card comes up, you're supposed to trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust your feelings. Your feelings are not wrong. Even if people are telling you that they are, even if people are arguing with you about decisions you've made, your feelings and your intuition is not wrong. So stick with it. Don't let anybody tell you different. This card is coming up because you need to stand up for yourself. And remember that what you think and feel is spot on in the situations that are going on right now in your life. So also when this card comes up, this is not the time to back down from something that you've stood your ground on. This is not the time to compromise. This is the time to stand up for yourself, no matter what that situation may be. That could be in family relationships, romantic relationships, work. But whatever the situation is, and you'll know what I'm talking about, you need to continue standing your ground. One of the things that I wrote down was that all the things that have happened up until this point, yes, you can trust your intuition. You made the right decision, but you can also learn from the situation. If there's things that happened that you didn't like the way you handled them, even though you were right, learn from the situation. Take notes, challenge yourself. This is the time, and this is going to come up later too, to dig into the shadow work and to really see. There's always, I know you've been doing work on yourself, but there's always more layers of the onion. I still do work, and I'm 13 years sober too. I constantly find deeper things, and sometimes they're really deep and really intense things that I'm working on. So I never stop doing the shadow work. And this card, as you see this beautiful, passionate, sexy woman in red, that color is really significant. And it's funny because this is where courage came in. Remember, I pulled this. Now remember, I pulled all these first. Then I looked at them. Okay, I didn't plan this. Courage. You are to have courage under adversity. So you've been going through something that is, a situation of adversity, and you are being called to have courage, to not give up, to stand your ground. You have what it takes to get through this situation that you're going through. Okay? And I thought that was really cool that that came up like that. Okay, so another thing, when this card comes up, you are being called to step into your warrior self. And this could even entail taking a self-defense class. I don't know if that's something you've been thinking about. Perhaps it could be anything. Learn how to use a knife. Learn how to maybe, a pew-pew. Learn how to defend yourself in whatever ways you need to. Maybe it means taking, a course on spiritual defense. But whatever that may be, you need to step up your game when it comes to defenses. And I do feel like spiritually, you need to make sure that your defenses are strong against people, because you have to remember when people even talk about us, because the English language is spelling, it spells. So even someone putting energy and emotion behind saying things about us that are even said, they might not even think that they're being a witch or anything like that, but their words are powerful. And that energy behind it, that emotion, can really cause situations to happen. They are creating with their mouths, so we have to have really strong defenses. We have to recognize that, know that, and have really strong defenses. So I definitely highly recommend you doing that in the physical plane and in the spiritual plane. And, and that can include even going to the gym and just working on being the healthiest, strongest person that you can be at this time in your life. This is the time to work on you and to work on your spiritual, your mental, and your physical well-being, defenses, and health. That is what this card represents, and it came up, and I felt like that was really important for you to know. So then we're going to go on to the Nine of Winter. Now, look at this card. We see a young fairy, and she looks like she's laying in her bed, and she's just had a bad dream. So she's looking out at the moon, the full moon, is present. So there can be a little crazy dreams and madness in the air. And around her, we see there's doves. I don't know if you can see them in the picture. The doves represent the peace that she could have, but she's worried because she just had this really scary dream. She's just been through something really frightening, and she doesn't like it. So she's sitting there contemplating it, but she can have peace if she remembers that she has to go within and find the peace. And you can find peace through meditation and through deep breathing and things like that. And this is going to be important for you right now, because when we go through really difficult situations, it can bring up old anxieties and old thoughts that can trigger us. So it's really important that you work on the things that are going to bring you peace. And that, really kind of goes hand in hand with standing your ground and being firm in your convictions. Write them down. Get those defenses up. And then we need to do the things like meditation. My guides tell me to schedule meditation because it's that important that we practice it like a muscle. That's part of defense. And doing deep breathing, that has helped me immensely, because I, just like you've told me personally, was very dependent on benzos because I had anxiety attacks. And so I learned to do meditation and deep breathing. And I had a toolbox that I wrote down, and I posted that stuff everywhere. I had one on the wall, in the bathroom, by my bed, in my little notebook that I carried everywhere, my journal. And I kept that with me so that I would be able to remember what to do when I was having a trigger or an anxiety attack or whatever it may be. And you can do this for other situations, not just anxiety. You can have your toolbox there. Okay, when I feel this way, this is what I'm going to do. And that could include making a phone call to someone, writing, expressing yourself artistically, doing something that is going to be a positive thing, and that's going to make you feel better. Because what we're seeking is peace. And we have to remember, when this card comes up, it is a reminder not to sit and worry, not to sit in anxiety. Do something about it. And I can even help you with that if you need to. Worry comes from fear. And anything that comes from fear is not for us. We are light beings. We are eternal beings. We do not walk in fear. We have to banish fear from our lives, and we can do that. We have ways to do that. So there's nothing wrong with having plans or concerns to process, but your fear isn't in proportion to the circumstances. So when you feel those crazy, fearful, anxiety feelings come up, remember that there's no circumstances that should cause you to lose your peace. So we have to work on that. And one of the ways that we do that, and this was something I wrote down in my notes for you, I have found this to be really important for me, and I believe that you would benefit from this as well. Go outside. I don't care if it's for 10 minutes. Schedule it. Go outside. Get barefoot. Plant a flower. Plant one little pot. I don't know if you plant things or if you have a garden, but get out there and work, with plants. Talk to trees in your yard. Trees are very wise advisors. I literally talk to trees, and I know that sounds crazy, but we all speak the mother tongue, which is the language of trees and animals and humans. We just forgot. So that's something you need to work on and practice, because they have literally scanned me before and sent light energy to me where I needed physical healing and emotional healing. So these kind of things can help you quiet your mind. Meditation helps, and also praying. Pray to God. Pray. Ask the fairies to help you. Ask the trees to help you, and they will. The angels will help you. I have seen an angel, so they're actually real too. So make notes and post them around to remind you to breathe. When stress builds up, it means that it's time to nurture yourself. Remember, this goes with that other card. This is the time to be all about you. What your needs are when it comes up, that is what you need. You need to listen to that gut, listen to that instincts. Things do not come up for no reason. If it comes up, write it down and process it and see if that's what you need to add to your life. That's really important for you, because that will help you get rid of the stress, any guilt, that we as recovering addicts carry, any anxiety. That will really help you. So get a plan together and write it down. And you can have that peace that the fairy is seeking down here and that the birds represent. And birds are a really strong spirit animal. So I feel like birds are going to be something that comes up for you in the next couple of days. You're going to see some birds. And when you do, that is a reminder that spirit loves you, okay? And it is a reminder that you're on the right path, that you're going to be okay. You are going to be okay. That's what this card represents. So let me put that one to the side. And we're going to talk about the last fairy card, which was, hold on, the Nine of Winter. Oh, wait, we just did that one. Whoops. The Queen of Spring. Now look at the Queen. See? She's sitting there. She's a powerful being. Look at her beautiful wings. And she's sitting there. And she represents independence. So you're walking into a place where your independence is important. You are a leader. You are. And that's what this card, when it comes up in a reading, that's what this card represents. You are also someone that is a really good friend. You're there for others. You are a good friend, and you need to work on having relationships where people reciprocate that to you. It's okay to be that way, but we have to make sure that we are in healthy relationships which are reciprocal. And if they're not, then, that may be someone that we need to love from a distance. But when this card comes up, it represents a person that is a fierce person, a passionate person. And remember, we saw passion in that other card, in the red from that card. And red is a significant color. So trust yourself. That's what this card also represents. And, she's wearing this beautiful red dress with a red shawl. It's not showing, but if you looked at the card, it's really bright red right here. And that just kept on coming up in these images. So I felt like that was really important. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about in perspective with this card is working on balance. This card represents that you are being called to balance yourself spiritually, physically, in every way that you can. With your money, with your abundance, and that is harmony. So balance and harmony, they mean similar things, and that is what you are being called to seek peace, to seek harmony, balance. You're being called to work on those things. And I felt like when this card came up, I felt like it was telling me that you are being a good parent. I don't know if that's something that has bothered you lately, but you are a good parent. You are. Trust yourself, okay? Trust yourself. You're a great parent. You're doing a good job. All right? That's what that card represents. You're going to love these cards when I'll take the pictures in bright light so you can see all the images in them. And maybe look up some of the images because sometimes they represent things to you. Anything that leaps out at you, look it up and see if there's some metaphysical meaning for it. Okay? Now, I also pulled from my Wild Goddess deck. This is such a big, beautiful deck. It comes with this book to explain all the cards. And it is called the Wild Goddess Oracle deck. And I really love it. Whoop, and I just dropped them all. Okay, hold on. Let me pull out the ones that were yours. Uh-oh. Where'd they go? All right, give me a second. Pause.